Hi-ho, Silver, the Golden Hack, is back in Texas.
And volleyball continues to roll over opponents with an 8-game win streak.
Plus, the soccer team can bear the competition. All this and more coming up on College Press Box. Welcome to this week's episode of College Press Box. I'm your host, Melinda Billingsley, and alongside me is Jorge Guerra. Jorge, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was great. A lot of football, a lot of great upsets, a lot of great matchups.
Yes, let's talk college football. Everyone was at the edge of their seats watching the Red River rivalry game.
It was definitely an entertaining game. The unranked Longhorns faced off against the number 12 undefeated Oklahoma Sooners in their 108th meeting Saturday, coming on College Game Day. Let's take it out to the highlights. There we go. We have a wide view of the stadium. Team running out, ready, pumped up for the game. On the first quarter, the Longhorns had a great 61-yard drive, but it ended up in an Anthony Farah 31-yard field goal. Texas up 3-0. Still first quarter, third and fourth on the OU 26. Blake Bell pass intercepted by Chris Whaley for a 31-yard pick six touchdown. Look at that big boy run. Have you ever seen somebody that big run so fast and be so excited? I have not. And the score is now 10-3 after the extra point. Second quarter, well, right now you still see Whaley and the team excited and enjoying the touchdown. Second quarter, third and 11 on the 41-yard line. Case McCoy right side pass complete to Marcus Johnson for a 59-yard touchdown reception. The Longhorns will now lead 17-3. This game was really well balanced. The run game really helped. Here in the second quarter, third and 13, Blake Bell sacked by Jackson Jeffcoat, senior leader on the defensive line. Texas is still up 17-3. I haven't seen the Longhorns so pumped in a while. Second quarter, 3 seconds left in the half. Anthony Farah would head into halftime with a 43-yard field goal attempt. That is good, putting up Texas 23-10. Everyone's pumped. The crowd's pumped. The training staff's pumped. Heading into the third quarter, Jed Barnett with a 47-yard punt kick. Dejae Johnson, welcome, aren't they glad to have him back, returns that for a 85-yard touchdown, putting up the the Longhorns 29-13. Look at that celebration dance. I think that's probably better than Victor Cruz's salsa dance right there. Heading into the third quarter still, first and 10. Case McCoy looks deep to Mike Davis for a 38-yard touchdown. Let's look at that one more time. What a gorgeous fade route there by Mike Davis. That puts up Texas 36-13. This is a lot of momentum for Texas in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 7, OU's 38. Case McCoy's pass intercepted again. For the first time in the game, but by Geno Gresson scoring a touchdown for 54 yards for OU, putting OU down still 36-23. Blake Bell sacked for a loss here by, again, the leader, Jackson Jeffcoat. That was the fourth quarter. That seals the deal. Look at that. Cheers and high fives. Texas wins as Case McCoy takes a kneel, hugs and cheers as Texas wins 36-20, and they take the match. Our own Quentin Baldwin has more on this on the Longhorns win.
The rivalry stage was set Saturday in Dallas as OU clashed with the Texas team hungry for redemption and pride.
Proud of our guys. Difference in this ball game is we ran the ball much better than we have the last 2 years. We stopped the run better than we did the last 2 years. We forced more turnovers and we didn't turn the ball. As you can tell, our defense is learning more of what Greg Robinson wants taught.
It's X's and O's. It's hard work. It's discipline. It's being unselfish. All those things that come into play to try to win. I'm just happy for him. I really believe he deserves it. I think he really guided our team and our coaching staff well.
He's our coach. He's the one that offered every single one of us on this team our scholarships. He gave us the ability to go achieve our dreams. We understand that, and we love the guy. We're playing for the guy, and we'll continue to play for the guy. They'll keep writing those articles bad about him, and we'll keep playing for him.
Despite the pressure Mack Brown's legacy faced against the undefeated Sooners, the Longhorns were able to fight through behind some stellar performances of seniors who have never won on this field until today.
We knew this is an important game. We focused in hard, and I mean, we have a good defense, and we needed to play like it. And so this game we got to show y'all how good we are and how good we can be. We still have more, but we still can get better.
Me and Jackson, we talked about it, and we was telling the guys that, we have to come out and punch them in the mouth the whole game. And that's what we did. And we realized that we can play like this every Saturday. And when we play like this every Saturday, there's no limit to what we can do.
Quentin Bodwin, College Press Box.
Tonight we have Peter Splendorio, football writer for the Daily Texan, on set for some insight. Peter, are you ready to talk some football?
Guys, I'm always ready to talk some football, especially after a big upset win at the Cotton Bowl.
I'm going to go ahead and say that not many people expected the Longhorns to be victorious against OU. What do you think made the Longhorns so successful?
Well, a couple of things made the Longhorns successful in this game. The biggest thing was their ability to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. On offense, they ran the ball just as well as they have all year. Jonathan Gray with 128 rushing yards. He's been having a big season for them. He's led the team in rushing 5 weeks in a row. But this was probably his grittiest performance against a defensive front that was only allowing 113 rushing yards per game. He had a big performance. Malcolm Brown also came up to play. Had 120 rushing yards after only rushing for 63 in the first 5 games. If these guys keep going, that's going to be huge for the Longhorns. On defense, they wreaked havoc in the backfield. Blake Bell was not able to make any runs. He had some trouble passing the ball as well. They had constant pressure, 4 sacks, 5 quarterback hurries. That was the key to the game, was just the Longhorns controlling the lines of scrimmage.
So if you could give the game ball to both an offensive player and a defensive player, who would you give it to?
Well, the offensive game ball has to go to Gray. The 128 rushing yards were the most by the Longhorns running game. He really controlled the pace of the game. He had a lot of big runs on first and second down. He had a really huge 38-yard run to get the Longhorns downfield in the second quarter, led to a score. And his performance was really just indicative of the whole offense just rising up and playing the Sooners really well. On defense, it has to go to Chris Whaley. He had that big interception return for a touchdown, 31 yards. He looked like a running back. He got recruited to be a running back. He looked like a running back on that play. He also had 4 tackles. He was a big part of the Longhorns containing Blake Bell and making sure he wasn't able to run outside that pocket.
Now, Peter, do you think this game secured Max Brown's job as a head coach and adds to his legacy at Texas?
I don't think it necessarily saves his job. I think that he was probably going to get a chance to continue coaching the rest of the year. This is a big win, though. It kind of quiets some of the haters right now. I think it's going to allow the Longhorns to focus more on winning more than whether Max Brown is on the hot seat for the rest of the season as well. But we know a couple of seasons have showed us, if you lose big games, if you lose a game against somebody you're not supposed to, that's going to put him right back on the hot seat. But for now, it does kind of quiet some of the qualms for his job. Does it add to his legacy? I don't think it necessarily does. He's beaten Oklahoma before. Bob Stoops still has the advantage head-to-head, but I do think it's a nice win for this season.
So, Peter, Case McCoy played a phenomenal game. Do you think that he deserves to finish the season as starting quarterback? And what does he hold in Texas history, especially beating teams like A&M and Oklahoma?
Well, I think Case McCoy definitely deserves to be the starter the rest of the season if David Ash is unable to go. We saw that Case McCoy has it in him still. He was able to make some of the throws that everybody was saying he couldn't. He hit a couple of guys in single coverage outside the numbers. That was big for him. As far as his legacy goes, I think this definitely cements him as a Longhorns quarterback, somebody that people will remember for a while, not just as Colt's brother, but as the guy that beat Texas A&M in his last chance to beat the Aggies and beat Oklahoma in his last chance to beat the Sooners.
Well, I thought it was a great game to watch. Peter, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me on.
Coming up, volleyball continues their hot streak and soccer captures victory. This and more on College Press Box.
Welcome back to College Press Box. Let's transition from the Cotton Bowl to Gregory Gym for volleyball. Number 3 ranked Longhorns notched their 25th consecutive win against the Texas Tech Raiders and improved to 4-0 in the Big 12 conference matches. Let's take it out. Let's look at the highlights. Here you see the team getting ready for the match. To open the first set, we have Chloe Collins set to freshman Chikia Obagu for the kill. Junior All-American Haley Ackerman started off the night with a big kill, but then she makes a couple of back-to-back errors. She hits one out of bounds and then tips another one right outside the line. This would put the Horns down 2-4. Ackerman would now sit on the bench. Sophomore Molly McCage gets the kill off the Collins set. Taking us later in the set, Collins to McCage for another big kill. This will bring the score 21-17 Longhorns. The first set ended with a long rally, but freshman Chikia Obagu with the kill once again. Longhorns take the set 25-19. Set 2 would roll for the Horns. Hannah Allison to Pilar Victoria off the block and to the ground. Hannah Allison to Pilar Victoria once again, 22-15 Horns. And third time the charm, senior Hannah Allison to freshman Pilar Victoria again for the tip, taking the set 25-17. In the third set, leading again the Horns. A kill by Obagu to put the Horns up 2-1. It was all seniors, Bailey Webster and Hannah Allison in third. 7 kills from Webster and 13 assists from Allison. Senior Sarah Palmer to Pilar Victoria for the kill will set up the match point for the Horns. And one more time, Palmer to Victoria for the match-winning kill. Horns take the set 25-19. Though here you see the Horns sing the Eyes of Texas to celebrate the victory. Here's what Coach Early had to say after the match.
A few days later, Longhorn volleyball traveled to Kansas and improved to 5-0 in their victory against the Jayhawks. Senior outside hitter and offensive player of the week, Bailey Webster recorded a match high of 20 kills. Juniors Haley Ackerman and Kat Bell also reached double digits with 10 and 11 kills. Texas had an early lead and won the first set 25-17. However, Kansas came back strong to take the victory for the second set. Texas went on to win the next 2 sets, claiming a 3-1 win against Kansas. Texas will continue Big 12 play this Saturday in Gregory Gym. They'll face off against Iowa State in the Volley for a Cure match.
Friday night, the Longhorns hung on to beat the Baylor Bears 2-1, who coming into the game were ranked 23rd in the nation. Both teams struggled in the first half as neither team produced any goals as they went into halftime tied at 0. 8 minutes into the second half, junior Charisse LaChapelle scored her 3rd goal of the season off the corner kick and assist from Chantel Campbell, giving the Longhorns a 1-0 lead. LaChapelle was not done though. 2 minutes later, LaChapelle would score her 2nd goal of the game from the assist from Gabby Zarniger. Baylor answered with a goal of their own in the 87th minute though, but the Bears were unable to muster another score in the closing minutes. The 2 goals by the LaChapelle doubled her scoring on the season and propelled the Longhorns to win their 4th conference win. The Longhorns will travel to Stillwater, Oklahoma this Friday to face off against Oklahoma State.
Longhorns women's swimming and diving opened their season with a 149-99 sweep over Rice on Friday afternoon at the Lee and Joe Jamail Texas Swimming Center. Aside from winning all 16 events, senior All-American Lily Moldenhauer claimed the Longhorns' first NCAA provisional qualifying mark of the season when she won the 100-yard backstroke in 54 500 seconds. Rice does not have a diving team, so Texas divers competed against each other. All-American transfer from UCLA, Emma Ivory Ganja, came out on top for the 1-meter event with 269.7 points. Ivory Ganja also won the 3-meter event with 288 points. Both Texas women and men host North Carolina this Thursday.
The men's golf team recorded a 4th-place finish at Old Everton Club in Vestavia Hills, Alabama at the Jerry Pate National Intercollegiate Tuesday afternoon. The number 3 Longhorns were led by freshman Gavin Hall, who recorded a 6th-place finish on the day. Following behind him, senior Tori Hakula finished 3 strokes behind Hall, tying him for 12th place.
Today, women's golf finished the 2nd round of the Betsy Rawls Longhorn Invitational. Sophomore Natalie Karcher leads the Longhorns in a tie for 26th place. Freshman Julia Beck ended the day just 4 strokes behind Karcher and is now tied for 43rd overall. UCA is currently in the lead of the tournament, while Texas is ranked 15th.
Softball faced off against St. Edwards and fell short, losing 6-1. Let's take it out to the Red and Charlie McCombs field for the highlights. Here you see the Longhorns taking on St. Edwards Thursday night. After St. Edwards put 6 runs on the board in the 4th, number 11, Taylor Tom hits a double in the bottom of the 4th, but unfortunately the Longhorns cannot capitalize off of that. 6-0 St. Edwards still. Top of the 5th, number 5, Mandy Ogle throws out an attempted stolen base by St. Edwards. Bottom of the 5th, number 4, Devin Tunning hits a home run, putting the Longhorns on the board, but yet still trailing to the St. Edwards 6-1 as she rounds the bases after that home run. About to meet her teammates at the base, cheering. Here we go, top of the 6th, line drive caught by number 4, Devin Tunning, thrown into number 22, Karina Scott for a double play to end the inning. Taking it to the top of the 8th, number 15, Holly Kern strikes out 2 batters to end the inning. Longhorns do not score, though, in the last inning of play. St. Edwards defeats the Lady Longhorns 6-1. Coming right up, we take a look at Big 12 football and a few upsets that occurred in college football.
Welcome back to College Press Box as we move back to football to talk some Big 12 play. All right, so Texas Tech struggled early to pull away from Iowa State, 42, but they eventually won 42-35. So is Texas Tech overrated, or is Iowa State better team than we thought?
I wouldn't say Texas Tech is overrated, but they are a solid team. But Iowa State is a better team than we all thought, actually. If you take a look and we recap the Longhorns game, they really did show a sign of a balanced offense and defense. They had a solid balance, and you could tell that the defense really did carry them. But Texas Tech versus Iowa State, I mean, you could tell that, the Raiders are a team that you can't take lightly, and you have to really take them seriously. But you can't take anybody not lightly in the Big 12 because everyone, you can't go, into a game not thinking you're going to win.
Okay, so Baylor looked like they were ready to blow out Kansas State, but Kansas State fought back and Baylor won a close one by their standards, 35-25. Kansas State was the first team Baylor played who could compete with them. Do you think as Baylor faces better competition, they'll begin to struggle?
I don't know. I mean, Baylor's offense is really high-powered offense, but Kansas State really did, show weaknesses in the Baylor offense a little bit, only holding up to 35 points when Baylor has been averaging around a high 60 to 70 point range in the season. But Kansas State really did show some weaknesses in the Baylor's offense and some holes that they had to fill in. But I don't know. Baylor is a really competitive team. They are good coaching, great coaching. The Baylor coach is being looked at to potentially fill in the head coaching job for Mac Brown. We don't know what that's going to be. That's all speculation right now. But Baylor is really a team that you can't take lightly, and they're a great team, but also is Kansas State. But for the most part, Baylor is, on average, an above-average team.
Okay, so in a game which they had 5 turnovers, the TCU Horned Frogs still managed to beat the Kansas Jayhawks 27-17. Jorge, is TCU a contender or a pretender?
The Horned Frogs, I would say they're contenders, but then, they have some glimpses of being, pretenders. But, when Texas faces off TCU, that'll pretty much show the resiliency of both teams from the Longhorns, if they're really a true team, if TCU is really a true team. As you can see, the Kansas Jayhawks, they did struggle throwing. They did have 5 turnovers, but TCU kept with it. They didn't buckle down. They stuck with it, and they came out on top to beat Kansas Jayhawks 27-17. And TCU, I mean, for the most part, again, the coaching's great. Their offense is balanced. They have a great quarterback who's pretty solidified at the position, and the running game and the offensive line is pretty great as well. Defense could be a little better for the Horned Frogs, though. But I think they're contenders, but sometimes they show glimpses of pretenders.
Okay, so Texas has to go to Fort Worth to face the Horned Frogs in 2 weeks. Do you think the Longhorns can maintain their consistency and avenge their Thanksgiving loss?
I believe so. This past game really did show their pride. It really did, you know, the Longhorns are going to have to show a lot, actually. I mean, they do struggle on Thanksgiving break. I mean, I guess the fans aren't there because some go back home, but they're going to just have to play like it's their last game. The seniors have to continue playing the way they did. They got to show the sign of leadership. And, I mean, if they continue that balanced running offense and the line of scrimmage, controlling the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, I think they can really pull it off and win it on Thanksgiving.
Great. So out of all the other college football games, which one do you think was the most shocking?
Out of all the games, I would have to say number 5 Stanford versus Utah, but there were also other upsets like number 7 Georgia versus number 25 Missouri and number 18 Michigan versus Penn State. But all those games were phenomenal games, but I would have to go with the number 5 Stanford versus Utah being a game that was really, no one saw it coming, because Stanford, like, I keep repeating this, but coaching at Stanford is phenomenal, and they hit on all cylinders on offensive defense, so the Utah game was really the most surprising upset for me.
All right, well, I guess we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. Coming up on College Press Box, see how the Torchlight Rally got Longhorn fans pumped up for the Red River rivalry and upsets for this coming week. Tune in for more.
Welcome back to College Press Box. The Longhorns had a successful week in the sports this past week, but they now have a chance to do it all again. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. On the 15th, women's golf will face at the Bestie Rawls Longhorn Invitational. On the 17th, men's swimming and diving and the women's swimming and diving will host on North Carolina at 4. On the 18th, soccer will travel to Stillwater, Oklahoma to face off against Oklahoma State, and women's swimming and diving will have another meet at Texas A&M on the 17th. On the 19th, track and field at Wisconsin. At the Wisconsin for the Adidas Invitational at 11 a.m. and volleyball will face off against Iowa State. On the 20th, soccer versus Oklahoma. They return back for that. And then rowing at the Head of Charles, Boston, Massachusetts. On the 20th to the 22nd, men's golf at Islesworth Collegiate Invitational.
Last Wednesday, our own Rachel Winslow headed out to the Torchlight Parade. Let's take it to the UT Tower to see how Longhorns prepared for the game against OU.
I'm here at the Torchlight Rally. My good friend Bevo's right behind me. The rally dates back all the way to 1916, but originally the parade was for the game against A&M. Now it's for the game against OU, so I went out and I got some of the students' opinions on what they think about the upcoming game. What is your favorite fair food?
Ooh, chicken on a stick, for sure.
At the State Fair, I really enjoy the fried butter. It's all about that fried butter.
Fried Oreos.
Fried Oreos. This is why we're friends.
Okay, so realistically, who do you think is going to win this game, Texas or OU?
Texas, hook 'em all day. You got to go with Texas. Defense wins the game always, and we're DBU.
I think OU will win. They got a solid defense, and we have Case McCoy starting. It's going to be tough, but if we bring some heart, there's a possibility. I mean, I've seen bigger upsets happen, so.
I'm wearing a burnt orange shirt, which means the Longhorns have great support.
Okay, what's the better nickname, Belldozer or Magic Mike?
Magic Mike.
I really enjoy Belldozer. I feel like it has like a symbolic meaning to the bells of the dozers.
Magic Mike, definitely, because he brings the money when he scores touchdowns, for sure.
Do you have any superstitions that you think will help Texas win this game?
I'm not very superstitious, but if you go in with a bad attitude, you're going to lose for sure. So.
Not really, but I always wear, when I'm watching the game on TV, my orange UT slippers, my burnt orange socks, and they always get the win for that. I mean, hopefully it happens this Saturday.
I'll definitely do my homework tonight before. I feel like every night when I do my homework, the Longhorns go and play football, so that's really good. Probably do my homework, and maybe wear a burnt orange shirt tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
Sounds good to me. I think that'll help them win for sure.
Yes, I agree.
All right, thanks.
Much like how Texas upset Oklahoma, Jorge, do you see any teams following in the Longhorns' steps and having their own upset special?
I wouldn't really consider the matchup I have really an upset, but a great matchup. The number 5 Florida State will face off against Clemson at Clemson, so that'll be interesting. I mean, Clemson's quarterback, Taj Boyd, great quarterback, great leader. If Florida State can contain him and narrow his passing yards and running ability, I think Florida State can pull off a victory with a solid, strong defense. I think that'll be a game to watch for this week.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to have to go with LSU and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is in a 3-game losing streak, and I just think they're looking to get out of it. So I think they're going to bring it this week. All right, so lastly, let's talk favorite play from the Texas-OU game. What's your favorite play?
I mean, who doesn't love seeing Whaley getting that interception and just running his heart out for that 31-yard pick six? So I would go with that Whaley interception as my favorite play.
I'm going to go with the Gatorade shower that the Longhorn players gave Mac Brown at the end of the game. I thought it was a perfect icing on the cake for the Longhorn win. All right, well, that does it for this edition of College Press Box. Be sure to follow us on Twitter with the Twitter handle @CollegePressBox.
Also, make sure to tune into College Crossfire on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. and follow them at College X Fire.
For Jorge Guerra and Master Control, I'm Melinda Billingsley. Thanks for joining us and have a fantastic evening.